Okay, so unfortunately, today the live broadcast is not working, but I'll just record this and put it up instead, I guess. I have in the studio here a module called Blip from Electronut Labs, which is about to go live on Crowd Supply sometime soon. This is a cool little device that is designed to make designing your own hardware extremely easy, especially in terms of mesh networked or Bluetooth controlled hardware, and with its built-in debugger to help as well. So you have a little micro SD card slot, you've got your Bluetooth chip, which is pretty powerful and used by other devices like some of Adafruit's Featherboards. And you even have a little NFC reader, which is pretty interesting. And then there's a few different ways to power this, including a low power method, which bypasses some of the debugging stuff so that you can run it once you're ready to actually deploy it, you can run it at much lower power. So let's take a look at the page for this. On Crowd Supply, we've got the Blip Nordic NRF 52840 dev board with sensors and debugger. You have a LiPo connector up at the top. You also have a micro USB connector. On this page, you can see all the deets. So this is at crowdsupply.com/electronut-labs/blip, which as usual is in the description to this video. You've got the main module, you've got a 3-axis accelerometer, an optical sensor for ambient light intensity, you've got humidity and temperature, from which you can usually also get altitude. You have a black magic probe debugger, we'll look into that in a second, an NFC antenna, micro SD slot, and then a couple of different options for powering it. They go into that further down here. 5 volts off of USB. You can put power in through the VEXT pin, which ranges from 1.8 to 3.3 volts, no higher than that. They even go so far as to note that on the board itself, 3.3 volts max, just so that you don't overload it. It says that when powering with VEXT, the debugger, charging IC, and LDO are bypassed for low current consumption. So that would be for deploying it for a low power application in the field, and then you also can plug it into a 3.7 or 4.2 volt rechargeable battery. This is up on GitLab, so you can come find out all the deets over here with code and samples and things. You gotta have a Blinky example. There is an option here, a folder called Shields, and there's a few different options on here, which is pretty cool. If you go to Electronut Labs' page at docs.electronut.in, you can find, for example, Papyr, which is a really cool module that they designed that does e-paper, Bluetooth mesh networkable as well. And they've got a few other cool, oh, let's just go back to the main, here we go. The main page, there's other stuff that you can check out as well. You can check out the info on the Bluetooth module on Adafruit, in fact, where you could adapt the design and build your own. It says this chip is quite a beast with a ton of flash, SRAM, peripherals, and best of all, native USB support. And you can use the Black Magic probe that is included. Well, it's not exactly this device, obviously, but it has something similar built in. And if you're interested in looking at the original by 1-bit squared, this is a device that's used for programming and debugging ARM Cortex MCUs. It is the best friend of any ARM microcontroller developer. So that is what is used for debugging on this guy. Very cool. If you're interested in getting your hands on the Blip, you should sign up on the Crowd Supply page. As usual, just put your email address in and hit subscribe. And then you can also follow them on Twitter for updates. That is at Electronut Labs, all one word. I'm super excited to see what ends up coming out of this. And you can also see more about the Papyr device, which I think is fascinating. I probably would have more use for this one as someone who's more of a dabbler and a person who makes more high-level stuff, but if you're looking to actually design your own device, then this would be an excellent place to start. Check out the blip on Crowd Supply soon.